back to Faye's Fight Club, where we talk more than just boxing. We talk life, we talk hustle, we talk how to win. I'm your host, Faye Boudreau, U.S. Army veteran, businesswoman, and your front row ticket to talking to the real ones. Today, I have a special guest. I'm so excited to introduce to you Marcos the Warrior Valadez. Hi, Marcos. How are you?
Hi, Miss Faye. How are you doing?
Good, good, good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So, for the viewers at home, if you could just say your name and then your record, your current record.
Okay, I'm Marcos Valadez, the Warrior Valadez. I'm 1-0 currently in boxing, amateur boxing, and
we'll be going to the Golden Gloves in May, correct?
No, actually, the April 18th and 19th.
April 18th and 19th. Okay, and then May would be the Nationals.
Yes.
If you move ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So before we get into the Golden Gloves, because I really want to talk about that, let's talk about how you decided to step into the ring from the beginning.
Okay, so it goes a while back, all the way back to high school. In high school, I would get a little bullied and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I started wrestling.
Okay.
And wrestling, you know, I learned how to be competitive. I learned how to have hard work, determination, and so that really got me to want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used to take my boxing gloves. I bought two pairs of Everlast boxing gloves from Walmart,
Okay.
and I would take them to high school, and we'd go on the trails. And I went to high school at Park.
Okay.
And we went to the trails behind Park, and
I
would invite everybody.
I know the trails behind.
Yeah. I would invite everybody to come box during lunch hours. So I would bring my gloves. Everybody would come out there, and we'd start boxing, and that really just got me to love fighting.
Yeah.
But my goal originally was MMA. I love MMA.
Me too. Yeah.
So after that, I started training MMA, and I went on this thing called Street Beefs when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
I drove all the way to Virginia, and I fought on there, and fortunately I lost. But it was fun. It was an experience, and I enjoyed it. it. So that's what ultimately got me into wanting to start training, and then I eventually started training. I started this thing called King of the Yard.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so that's a backyard fight club that I started.
Kind of like a Kimbo Slice kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like Kimbo Slice. It was more fun.
Yeah.
More.
Rest in peace, Kimbo.
Yeah, rest in peace, Kimbo.
Yeah.
But it was more safe, more fun. I feel. First we had it in at the golf course by Park. Mm-hmm. Then the police kicked us out. So then we then we went.
I know. I was just wondering. I'm like, is this legal?
Then the police kicked us out. So then
we plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth. And then we went to my one of my friends Gage's backyard, and that's where it really popped off, I would say.
Okay.
I built a ring with like rope and like these metal stakes.
Swim noodles.
Swim noodles. Yep. I put swim noodles over them to protect people so they don't hurt themselves.
Uh-huh.
And that's where it really started.
And then you just went at it.
Yeah. I only participated in one of them. I was trying to fight more, but there was nobody really that wanted to fight.
Were there girls fighting too?
No. Unfortunately, I wanted girls to fight. You know, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So that's where I met a lot of my friends a lot of people through that. Our referee, he got me in contact with a gym in Kenosha, and I started training there. And I was doing MMA with them at first, and I had hurt my knee. And one day I had hurt my knee. I was out for a couple months, and I had sprained my MCL.
Oh, ouch.
And so I was kind of scared to grapple again and roll around a little bit. So what happened is the coach there is the boxing coach there, because there's two. There's the MMA coach Dave Schrosser, and then the boxing coach Carlos Aguilar, and he came and got me. He was like, "Hey man, why don't you come spar one of my guys?" So I went in and I went in there, no headgear, no nothing, and I sparred one of his guys. And I did good. I did really good. So he was like, "Man, why don't you come train boxing?"
Yeah.
So then, after that, I started going down there. Downstairs is where we train at, and I fell in love with boxing. So now all I do is train boxing. I've been training for I'd say a year and a half now.
Wow.
And it's amazing.
It
I
is amazing.
really do like who I've met, the people I train with. My coach, he's a big inspiration to me. He had a former heavyweight. His name was Luis Alvarado, and he would tell me all about him, and he'd be like, "Man, you remind me of this guy. You know, we're gonna get you like this. We're gonna get you good." So, and I've always looked at boxing and was like, man, you know, they can't hang with an MMA guy. So,
but it's that punching.
But now it's like,
I mean, I don't want to say but no.
No, for sure. But now it's like, now I see the beautiful technique of boxing. It's beautiful. It's strategic. And even now I'm just moving, just like just doing a little roll,
a slip,
but I've grown up to be a big fan of boxing, and my coach is the main reason for that. So
that's awesome. So what? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what gym are you working with?
I train out of Tenacious Boxing Club in Kenosha.
Yeah. Okay. So I've heard of Tenacious. Of course, every match. I mean, probably every place that I've gone to watch amateur boxing, I've seen Tenacious. They're represented by some fighters there, and wins, you know, not just their name. So it's I would say, at least for me, well respected.
Oh yeah, very very much. I've heard a lot of people say that my coach is one of the best coaches in Kenosha and in the state of Wisconsin. I heard he's really good when it comes to pushing, and I've experienced it. You know, he's believed in me, he's pushed me, and you know, I got a whole couple of friends from on my team, a couple of teammates that have just fought in Racine at the last event. Jerome Lambertson.
I was there.
Yeah, you were?
I was there.
I did not see. I was on the other side rooting for my team, you know.
Yeah,
but,
I was there, and I got a few pictures and stuff, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm
so happy
my team showed out. They showed out.
They sure did. Yeah, so they did. I awesome. Saw some really awesome fights there. They just went all in. So it was great.
I love it.
Yeah. So that leads me, a couple things. There is a lot. First off, I love MMA too. Boxing is probably my first passion, has been for a long time. But I also like wrestling. I have watched it in high school and stuff like that. If I could have done it, I would have. I used to wear the wrestling shoes to school. They have no cushion.
They had a whole bunch of shoes too. They're like boxing shoes. So when I first started, I would wear my boxing shoes or my wrestling shoes to boxing training.
Oh, would you? They've got like the funny little pads on the bottom, so a little bit different. But I used to wear those to school. So I like wrestling. I like all combat sports. And when you talk about grappling, that right away brings to mind like Gracie, the Gracie family.
The Gracie.
Yeah, they're awesome. And I always say I'm a grappler. I'll hang on.
Originally.
So is that what you were doing?
Yes, I was so
kind of like a crab. I mean, you just hang on and
from wrestling, I have had such a dominant presence when it comes to grappling and rolling. But my jiu-jitsu is it's all right. I would just say it's average.
Yeah.
I have a decent amount of chokes. It's
really
very
tough.
Very tough. You have to be flexible.
Yeah.
You have to move a lot. You have to but my wrestling will always take over, I feel, because one thing that
you're good at the takedowns.
One thing that's different between the two is that jiu-jitsu teaches you how to be on your back, and wrestling teaches you how to be over the person, on top.
Right, and so that takedown. Right.
So I could really use my weight on people. Yeah. And I know how to use my weight, make them
so
tired.
They can't breathe.
Yeah, they can't breathe.
So then it's like, for those of you who don't know, like if someone's on you, all that weight is on you, you can't breathe. You're literally, ready to tap out. And then if you do any other things like arm bars or things like that with it, ooh, yeah. So yeah,
it's a different ball game.
It's a different ball game. But it's interesting because I always like the sport of boxing because those punches, it's a different game, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And you got to be able to do those punches. And that's why when people always say, well, MMA against boxers and stuff, they're totally different, both unique in certain ways, but that punching really, yeah.
One thing too, all fights start on the feet, so
yes,
you know, you gotta be. Then that's one thing that I've learned to do is box. So as boxing, you know, I've learned to now I'm more confident in my punches. Before I used to be more of a kicker. I won't lie. So
are you more like a jab
jab, and body shots, body work is.
What's your arm length?
I have no idea.
Really?
I've never
ever
measured it. I am a short heavyweight though.
Okay.
I'm a short heavyweight.
Yeah, because I was wondering. They're not super long. Not that that's necessarily bad, but you could, you know. I'm just wondering, like, what's your favorite punch? Is it jab?
The liver shot.
Ah.
Liver shot. That's
so
that's
that's
my bread and
gonna be
butter. A 3 to the body.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wow. Like a hook.
Yeah, a hook to the body.
Okay.
Right to that liver.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's vicious.
I love it. I just love that when you landed on somebody, you could see they drop their arms.
Oh, I know. I'm a girl, you know, female, but I can't say I've never had some scuffles, and I I don't want to say this, but I do remember somebody telling me one time they said you fight like your brother. and he was good. I mean, I always think that my brother should have gone into boxing. He was fantastic. And I remember they said, man, she looked like Mike Tyson out there. But I was tiny. I was only like 110 pounds, little thing, you know, but had a little scuffle. Someone picked on me for like a year and a half, and I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
Had to defend yourself.
So yeah, so that's what happened. But yeah, so that's great. So now you're going into Golden Gloves.
Yeah, Golden Gloves.
Let's go first to your first fight that you had. So you stepped into the ring.
So my first amateur fight was August of 2024, and it was very nerve-wracking. It was in Chicago. So I was going somewhere where I never even knew. So I went there, and at first I was nervous, and I say once it was a match away from my match, I was like, okay, I'm here. Let's do this. So I got in, and my first round, you know, I was kind of like still had my jitters. I still have my little nervous jitters. And my coach yelled at me. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you here for? You here to play patty cake? You know?" He's yelling at me. He's yelling at me. He's like, "Come on, we need you to fight."
Yeah.
So then the second round, that's when I picked up the pace and started being in his face and started hitting the body and started pushing the pace. And ultimately, me pushing the pace and me having the better gas tank that night is what won me the fight.
Mm-hmm. Wow, nice. So did it go full round?
Yeah, full decision. Okay. I went to the decision.
Okay.
So.
And then unanimous decision?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's really awesome because right out of the gate, you won your first fight.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not always what happens. You know, a lot of times people are really nervous, and even though they have the techniques and that, it's different to get in there and let it go. Mm-hmm. You know, I can imagine. I mean, I don't know because I haven't been in there. The closest I got to it was using pugil sticks in the military.
Yeah,
so,
pugil sticks. I won that too.
Oh yeah,
I
did
well.
too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had several fights in the Army with pugil sticks. So, and for those of you that don't know, pugil sticks are about 8 pounds. They kind of represent like your M16 or your rifle, and so you have techniques that you use this. Pugil stick that represents that. It's a little bit longer, pushing
like
on
giant
the end,
Q-tips.
but it's 8 pounds, and then you're going toe to toe with your opponents, and so you basically get into the ring, and you know you fight your comrades, those who are in your weight class and that, and then you get in there, and it's like a boxing match sort of.
Yeah, no, for sure. You need a gas tank for that as well.
Yes, you do. So. That leads me into to now. So obviously your coaches felt you are pretty good to go to Golden Gloves because it's pretty early on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that. How did they approach you?
Well, my coach has always wanted me to do it. He wanted me to do it last year, even though like I signed I started a little too late for it. So he wanted me to do it, and he was like, "We're gonna get you for Golden Gloves next year." So as I've been training, he's like, "Man, you're looking good. You're looking good." And he's like, "You got, we can get you some fights, and you can win." And I was supposed to fight at the Jerome Lambert event too,
Yeah,
but I didn't. My opponent pulled out, unfortunately.
Oh,
But at the end of the day, that was gonna be my next match and before Golden Gloves. But he was like, just sign up. So then we signed up. I ordered my gear already, so
good for you.
Just ready for it to come in, and it's next Friday.
Next Friday,
yeah.
yes. So that again, that's in Madison.
Yep. Madison.
Okay, in Madison. So I really wanted to go to that. I don't know if I'll make it, but if I do, yeah, I'll definitely be watching out. So do you represent then Kenosha County or Racine County?
I still represent Racine, even though I train out of Kenosha.
So you represent Racine County. You'll go there. Do you know who your opponent's going to be?
Not
Okay.
a clue.
So this is, now let's get into the Golden Gloves things, because this is really an honor, I feel, to fight there. While it's open, people can sign up. Really, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're sending really like your best fighters there.
So there's different levels. Yes,
Okay.
there's true novice.
Okay.
Then there's novice, and then there's open. So and I think it goes 1 to 3 bouts is true novice. I think 3 to 6 is novice, and then after that is open.
Okay.
So I only have 1 bout. So my coach told me to sign up for true novice.
True novice.
True novice.
But that's still an honor to go.
Yeah.
So the Golden Gloves is in Madison. That'll be for the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And so you will have fighters from all over the state of Wisconsin go there. And then if they, whoever moves up has an opportunity if they'd like to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, which would be then the Nationals.
Yeah, I believe it's Nationals.
Yeah. And then just so we kind of get this out there, that the Nationals are places like, are people like Mike Tyson went to Nationals. He won there at, I can't remember what year. Muhammad Ali, Canelo, I believe Canelo, and definitely De La Hoya, and then most recently like probably Shakur Stevenson, and then Mayweather as well. So I kind of do. I look into all that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome because me, I'm still a newbie to boxing.
Yeah.
I started watching it as I started training it, but like I said, my thing was UFC, MMA. Yeah. So even right now, I got a UFC shirt on. So
yeah, I always religiously used to watch the UFC that used to come on late at night.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
But
Hoist Gracie was always my favorite.
He's good. I'd say since I've picked up boxing, one of my favorite fighters right now is this guy named Ilya Taporia. He's a boxer in the UFC. So he liver shot, overhands. He's real good.
I really love the Eagle. And I can't say I don't want to butcher his last name.
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah. Khabib, he used to wrestle like a bear, I think, when he was little or something.
He used to train with bears. Yeah. He was one of my favorites.
Yeah. So, and Connor I just love because his personality.
Oh yeah.
He's
funny. He's funny.
He's
funny on the mic.
Yes.
And he's good. Yes. He has quick witted. He's very good with it.
Yeah.
Confident. So Connor is what ultimately got me into the UFC. What I loved at, and I think that's what really got me into fighting because I was still in 8th grade when Connor was like around and
when he was trash talking.
And then he fought Mayweather, and that's the best fight. I was so happy to see that because everybody was telling me it was a fluke fight. It's not gonna happen. And when it finally
that was like the first fight where they did a boxing versus MMA, UFC, crossover like that. But it was awesome. Yeah, I definitely get into all that. So great. This is great. So so back to Golden Gloves. How many rounds will it be there? Will it be 3 rounds, 3 minutes each, or will you go up in rounds?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Because
But
typically I think it's 4, but since it's true novice, it could be 3.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. So
Okay.
I'm going in there with a blind eye. So, I'm just going.
Well, just don't get a blind eye.
Hope not.
Yeah.
Hopefully my head movement takes over. I've been really working on it. So, but I do believe it's 3 rounds, 2 minutes, if I'm correct.
Okay.
But that's just...
And still a 1 minute rest then.
Yeah, 1 minute rest.
Okay. So one of the things I'm wondering too, because with amateur boxing, I always wonder this because right out of the gate, most of the time you don't know your opponent, their style. With professional boxing, you know your opponent ahead of time. There's a lot of hype that's going to happen. You have an opportunity to review their tapes, review their style. Not that they're going to stay with that style because they might change it up, based on the fight and you being their opponent. But in the amateur world, would you say that it's an advantage or disadvantage being take the stamina portion out of it, but that you have 3 rounds because you don't necessarily get to understand their techniques. You have to go in there ready to basically, be in front of the judges. So is it like, I don't know if the word is disadvantage or advantage, but how do you navigate that? You know what I mean? Yeah,
well, I believe it's just too fast paced to really get a grip on what they're trying to do. Yeah. So from what my coach has always told me, he's always telling me just be fast,
be
just
fast,
throw more, throwing bunches, don't throw ones, throw in 3s, throwing 4s, because
you want to be that dominant.
They go off the points, so it's a point system. So and professionals, they can tap, save their stamina, tap,
right.
But in amateur, you gotta keep going and punching and punching, and most people gas out like that. So
you really have to have a lot of conditioning, probably, right? Okay. So what does your regimen look like, especially fighting next week?
Honestly, I just train with I train Monday through Thursday, and I'll spar on Thursdays. Fridays are rest day, and Saturday is our I go to Ben Rothwell's sometimes. But I'm usually at Ben Rothwell's on Tuesdays.
Okay.
And on Tuesdays before training, so I'd go. Training is at 5:30. I'm at Ben Rothwell's at 4:00, and we'll train all the way about until 5 something.
Okay.
And it's usually just switching partners and sparring whoever, little, big. You always switch it up. Okay. So if I'm sparring a little guy, I'm working on my defense and my speed. Okay. If I'm sparring a bigger guy, I'm working on, what I could do to hit him good, and even then it's all training. So I try to leave the ego out the door. A lot of people do tend to have an ego, and it's just boxing is part of it. So, but yeah, that's really what I do. I mean, other than that, we're always training. We train fast paced at our gym. It's fast paced. It's fast and hard. There's no time for breaks. Especially when my other coach is training us, Coach Luis, the dude who my coach first trained. He's also one of our coaches now. So his name is Luis Alvarado, and he was my coach's first heavyweight. And he's really good when it comes to conditioning. Has us do all types of stuff, stuff that my coach hasn't implemented, but that conditioning is needed. Burpees, and then right after burpees, up and you're shadow boxing, and then and you're right on the bag, and then another set of burpees, and then just very fatigued, very fatigued. So
so you're going to basically burnout.
Yes. Definitely feel like it afterwards. So
until you can't go basically anymore. Okay, so what is it now? You're in the super heavyweight, correct? Okay. Have you seen any differences in your weight class versus other weight classes?
One thing I will say is we're slower, for sure. The smaller guys, they throw in bunches. They throw in bunches. Heavyweights, unless you're a good heavyweight, usually don't throw in bunches. So,
but you probably pack a a lot
a
more
lot
behind
of
that,
right? Power, but you'll break eventually.
Okay.
So that's why my coach is always telling us tap tap. Then give them 3, 4. That third and fourth one, those are hard ones. Everything's got to be hard. We train hard.
Yeah.
We train fast. So my coach is when we hit pads, it's fast and hard. Wow. So that way, because you got to have both. You can't have one and not the other. So even then, I'm still growing. I'm still learning. Always room for improvement, and I feel good right now. I'm very confident right now.
Good.
But I also feel like there's more I need to learn.
Right.
And obviously, I'm always trying to learn more. So.
And you'll go there, and you do your best, and it's a win either way, because either you're going to win and get that clout from Golden Gloves, but even just being there is a clout.
Experience.
It's experience and clout. But even if you do win, that's awesome. But if you don't, you've had that opportunity to go there.
And then be prepared more for the next time. So,
yeah.
So I really love boxing now that I'm doing it, and I definitely am gonna keep doing it. So my goal is still MMA, but I love boxing right now. Excuse me.
That's okay. So who's your favorite fighter right now?
In boxing?
Yes, in boxer. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
As a boxer, my favorite fighter, I would say, is the one guy my friend really hypes up about, and I started watching a lot of his film. He's pretty good. David Benavidez.
Oh, yeah, the monster.
The monster.
Yeah.
The Mexican monster. He's pretty good. My guy really hyped him up.
He is
And
good.
at first, I didn't really know him, and like I said, I'm still a newbie to boxing. All I knew was Canelo, so
I know. I got
all I know is Canelo. So he would tell me, Canelo sucks against Benavidez. Like Benavidez will kill Canelo, and I was like, man, you're lying, But I started watching this film, and I was like,
he's
good. Probably could.
He's really good. They call him the monster, and not because he's not. He really and he's always like
he punches hard and he punches fast.
He does.
And in bunches. So
he does.
He's one guy that I watch a lot. That I have been watching a lot, and ever since my friend put me on to him.
So this is the Canelo fight with Berlanga, and I was there.
Oh, you
were
there?
So this picture I actually took. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was at like the
Close
weigh-in.
up.
Yeah. So I was in the front row, right after the media. So the very first one. So I was like, so yeah, I wasn't at the Tyson fight, but Tyson he was just awesome to watch.
Yeah, he's a beast for sure.
Beast.
But I didn't watch too much of any of them really. Like I said, I'm still a newbie to boxing, so. But I've been watching lately like the newer fights like
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Who else? Better Be It versus Bivol.
Oh yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
I've been watching.
Bivol's good.
Oh yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, I'd say.
He's good too.
Yeah.
He's good too. I was really looking forward to the David Benavidez versus Bivol fight, but he said he wants to fight better. He wants to fight Better Be It again.
Yes.
So
yeah. And then I did see Julio Cesar Chavez. There's a picture over there of Julio Cesar Chavez that I took as well.
Okay.
I was probably 4 people away from him.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, wow. I was like this. I'm not worthy.
I see a picture of Anthony Pettis up there.
Yes. Yeah. So I met him. I've met him a few times, and it's interesting because I've seen him and his wife at some of the fights that I've gone to, so it's pretty cool.
I seen he boxed too for a little bit. I think he boxed Roy Jones.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, but it's possible. But I've met him a few times, and he's very humble, very nice guy. Yeah. Very nice. So, and then most recently I met Pitbull Cruz. So,
little guy,
yeah.
He's
cool.
I like his style too.
His style is fantastic.
I like his style too.
And he can take a punch, right?
He can take a punch and he can give a punch.
Yeah,
he can. He got some power behind his punches.
Yeah. So let's see here. One of the things that you touched on is the monster being the Mexican monster. And I see you're Hispanic. Are you Mexican descent?
Yeah, I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican American.
Okay. Do you know Spanish?
No.
Me neither.
Unfortunately.
I know un poquito.
I understand it.
Yes.
I can't speak it.
Same here. I'll understand like, you know, words and that, but then when I go to respond, it's like,
I'm a no sabo.
Yeah.
Everybody
I know,
tells me that.
which is sad because both of my parents are fluent in Spanish, and you know.
Saying my mom is
Yeah.
Spanish. I never. My mom is very good in Spanish, but she's never really showed me, or
Yes.
you know, she's
Spoke
always
to
talked
you
to me in
about it,
English.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. When they didn't want you to know what was going on, they talk about it.
Yeah.
They talk in Spanish. Yeah, so I am actually trying to learn a little bit more. But
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So does that carry over anything into the ring as far as when do you feel like, you know, you're carrying the Mexican people on, you know?
I wouldn't say that too
No.
much. I like that
Yeah.
I like that I love that I'm Mexican.
Yes.
I believe it has given me like, I don't know, just being a Mexican, having that Mexican strike. My coach
Yes.
says, he's like, you got that, you
Aztec
got that
warrior.
Mexican in you,
Yeah.
because like I can get hit.
Yeah.
I can give a punch. You know, I'm very good
Yeah.
at eating, and Mexicans are tough.
Yes.
I'd say I'm
Yeah.
tough. You know,
Yeah.
I'm very tough when it comes to boxing. I feel.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's awesome. And then who's tougher, your mom, your coach, or your last opponent?
My mom. My
Yeah.
mom for sure. My
Yeah.
mom is very tough. She's
Good.
very tough on me.
Good.
And growing up, she was very tough on me as well.
Mm-hmm.
My coach is also very tough on me too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then now my kids would probably say the same, but but that's good, you know, because it teaches you discipline, and you need that. And you know, if you don't have that, you might end up down the wrong path.
Oh, for sure.
So let's go forward. You're going to the Golden Gloves, and then also I understand that you are in the military.
yes, I am.
Okay. So tell me just a little bit about that. Does that tie into any of your MMA, or, you know, did it just kind of carry over?
So what had happened was, this is the truth, is I wanted to do the military in high school for the longest. My mom didn't want me to at first, or she wanted me to at first. She always wanted me to, and I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But then when she didn't want me to, that's when I wanted to. So it and I just wanted to just do basic training. That was my whole mindset was, if I can get through basic training, I can get through anything.
It's tough, huh?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
They take you away from your parents,
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you what to do, what time to eat, yell at
Everything.
you, everything. So
Yeah.
but I believe that doing that as well has helped me to become more disciplined, not get comfortable. That's one thing they teach you, is don't be comfortable.
Right.
So
and you'll never forget your training. I mean, it's amazing because I've been a veteran now for a while, and I tell you, I can recap things like it's yesterday.
Yeah.
So they've got the market cornered on training, breaking people down and building them
definitely.
back up.
I remember the first day they broke me down so bad. It was horrible. I remember I was like, why did I do this? Why did I join? Why would I join this? You know, they took me away. They're yelling at me. They're calling me fat, calling me all types of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I was like, wow. And then they started building you up. And I remember too, I think they played it safe, or they played it differently too, because our senior drill sergeant, he was like the scariest one. So he was scary since day one. And the first couple of days he was there for red phase, but then he was gone for like the rest of red phase, or like a week of red phase, or he went on leave or something. And so we're all getting comfortable.
Oh boy.
We're all like, okay, he's good, you know, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's probably was just temporarily here. And then as soon as he came back, it was like 4 a.m. He kicked the doors open, started kicking bunks, started yelling at us. He's like, get up, everybody, get the hell up.
Yeah.
Great. It was scary, because you get up out your bed quick.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you never just you stand up. And
Top bunk or bottom bunk?
I was bottom bunk.
Were you?
I was happy too.
I was top bunk for a while.
And that's how I met one of my closest friends in the military, Trujillo. He's actually a boxer too, so he always told me do boxing, but I was like, man, I'm a wrestler, I do MMA. So we got into a little scramble in AIT, but he was ultimately, I would say he's probably one of the first people to really tell me, do boxing, like you got what it takes, just do something.
That's awesome.
But I met him in basic training, and we weren't friends at first. We didn't like each other at first.
Yeah, that's what happens. You fight them, and
we didn't like each other at first. I remember telling him, I was like, hey, I'm getting bottom bunked. Like I whispered, I'm getting bottom. He was like, he looked at me and said no, and then drill sergeant was like, people on the left, they get bottom, people on the right get top.
That's how we got. Yeah,
and I looked at him. I looked at him, and I was like, yeah, I get bottom. So, and then we didn't like each other, and then we ended up becoming friends. I would say by white phase, we were like this.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had 3 drill sergeants, and at the end of graduation, one of them said to me, he said, "You're one of the toughest to break ever," and I was like. So that was awesome.
I would say for sure, females are hard to break. I won't lie. I understand the women are. I feel like women could probably take a little more.
Yeah. So, sure. Boy, we have really gone on a tangent.
Everywhere, all everything, all around the sun.
So now you have your fight coming up, and I guess in closing, what would you like to share with us? Anything I haven't asked you that you'd like to share, whether it's boxing techniques or, I guess, here's a question. What would people be surprised to know about you outside of the ring?
Honestly, there's nothing really interesting about me. All I do is work and train in military. I mean,
you sound like me. That's
train military. I'd say I did start King of the Yard, and people always ask me if I'm still gonna do it. I might eventually do it. I'm just focused on boxing as of right now, but it's something that I'm trying to get going, and not and try to have people help out with, because I do it.
Hey, I'd help.
The whole editing, the whole taking the videos, and having a license of boxing behind it. I just don't want to risk anything. So ever since I've gotten my license, I've been kind of put up with it for a little bit. But it's definitely something that I love doing, and that's why I met a lot of my fighter friends. I've met Gage through that. We've had belts, people that have won belts.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you really put a whole production
we put
together.
effort into it. Yeah. Yes. So it was.
See, I love stuff like that.
Oh, if you
Jerome's event, Jerome, if you're listening, you did an awesome job with that event, and I'm sorry.
Oh yes, for sure he did. Yeah. He did. I even told him too after that. And I was like, man, you put a good event on.
It flowed so wonderfully, and it was good.
That's why I was kind of sad that I didn't get to fight, because I really wanted to fight in my hometown racing. Right down the street from my house. So
right. Oh, nice.
I really wanted to fight there, but I went in for weigh-ins and early and everything, but my name wasn't on the list. So, but I did sign up for it, and so that's why right now I'm just doing the Golden Gloves and see how that goes. I'm pretty confident, but anything can happen. But we're making sure that I'm putting my time in and effort into.
And it sounds like it.
Oh yeah,
it sounds like
I just got out of sparring today. We did 13, 14 rounds of 2-minute rounds. So
wow, that's a lot to do in a day.
Very much 13,
so.
Very much so. Yeah. And I train with some professional boxers, some of the best people. I don't know if you know him, William Langston.
No. But send him over.
The kid, he's real good. He's came to our gym and gave us some work. He brings his guys as well that he coaches, and they've gotten real good too. So I want to shout him out. That he's a cool cat. The kid. I look up to him. I look up to my coach Luis. I look up to my coach Carlos, and I would say that all the people that have helped me get better have my respect for sure. They have done so much to lift me, and even by giving me a nice whooping, it helps me understand
it's all love.
I still got levels to go.
Right.
So
they're like, hey, it's all love.
Like my coach is also Ben Rothwell's coach. That is, he's the BKFC heavyweight champion. and that's bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different ball game. But
Yeah,
even
it is.
you know, me sparring him, I
Mhm.
feel like that's giving me confidence as well. And because I'm like, that dude's a giant. That dude would
Wow.
probably touch your ceiling from
Holy
standing
cow.
up.
Well, send him over.
But
I would love to. Like, so far I've had interviews with mainly boxers.
mhm.
So it's great that you have the other, MMA
yeah,
behind
I have
you.
I could have a whole
So,
bunch of people here.
oh my goodness, I would love it because
Yeah.
right now it's I've had a lot of boxers come in, but not MMA.
Yep. So
So-
one of my fighters. Well, I'm not gonna say my fighters, but somebody. He's my friend.
Mhm.
His name's Dante. He's fought under King of the Yard. And he's actually really good.
Mhm.
He fought. I think he's 5-1 or 4-1. He's fought
Yeah.
for the belt. He's the champion. But he's about to fight an NAFC and
Okay.
I think Waukesha.
Oh.
So that's an MMA promotion. And
I saw and I can't remember it was in Illinois, and I went to see a cage match,
Mhm.
and oh man, there was females and males fighters there, and man, it was just awesome.
yeah,
So-
I recently just went to Anthony Pettis' thing in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah, it was
A-
on a Sunday,
Yeah,
and I
APFC.
missed it. I
Yeah.
wanted to go so bad, and I had a job that I couldn't.
My coach invited me. He got me a free
Yeah.
ticket, and I just took my lady, and
Mhm.
we both met with my coach and his lady, and
Yeah.
and it was fun, and
Yeah.
and I got to meet Dustin Poirier.
Oh, I
to-
know he was there.
Yeah,
I was so
awesome.
mad
It was
that
awesome.
I had to work on that Sunday. Now I have Sundays off, but I had to work that Sunday, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, my coach.
But
is the one who
Dustin,
did
I
it.
saw that he was gonna be there too, and I was like, oh, I wanted to get his autograph so bad.
I wanted an autograph. I just
Yeah.
got a picture. I didn't think I was going to because
Yeah.
I wasn't VIP and I just
Oh,
got a
okay.
regular ticket. And
Yeah.
but my coach, shout out to you, coach. He got me. He was like, hey, he went up to the cage and he was like, hey, I trained Ben Rothwell. You think I can get a picture?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, I watched.
Man.
Dustin was like, I watched Bare Knuckle, and then he came out and got us a
That's
picture, and I was
awesome.
like, wow.
That's awesome.
You know.
Yeah.
My coach is a big reason why I'm here today. So I want to thank you, Coach, for everything you've helped
Shout
me
out.
out with.
Mhm.
Thank you, Coach Carlos Aguilar. So
Yeah.
he's
Awesome.
he's good. He's an awesome coach.
Carlos, you're welcome to come on the show. I've always heard, and I'll say this again, I've always heard really good things about Tenacious.
Yes, we are
And,
tenacious.
yeah.
So I will say that.
Yeah.
The name, we stand
Yeah.
for the name for
Yeah.
sure. My teammate Elion, he actually did really. He fought at the Jerome Boxing Save Lives event,
Yeah.
and he stopped his opponent. They threw in the towel. He was.
I watched that
He-
fight. In
yeah.
fact, I have it on video.
He
I
killed
have it
that
on
dude,
video.
man. It was
Because
awesome.
that was a fight. Holy cow!
He's
That
got
was
the
a
dog
great
in him.
fight.
Got the dog. in him.
He does. I watched that fight, and it was a fight
Yeah,
for sure.
that's like my brother. So I just want to shout out my team. We got Frankie Christensen. We got Nati. We got Elian Herrera. We got Arnold. Coach Luis. My guy Carson. I just want to thank you guys. You guys are the reason why I still box and why I'm still training and why I'm getting better every day. So thank you guys. And thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach, again. So.
Awesome. Anything else in closing? I feel like, we could just talk for hours between
for sure.
MMA, boxing, and the military.
Yeah.
We could just sit here and talk for hours.
But
But,
I think that was a good interview.
Yeah.
So I would say that
Yeah.
that was it.
Well, thank you, everyone. This is Faye's Fight Club. This is awesome. Marcos Valadez. Make sure to shout him out and show some love because he's going next week to the Golden Gloves in Madison, and he'll be representing Racine, Wisconsin. Woo! Thank you.
Yep. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Miss Faye.